looking at construction starting in the spring and hopefully opening in the fall. If there's any other questions, hopefully that answers.
All right, thank you. I know this is not the norm that we go into a full presentation during the council meeting because we're basically getting ready to take it for a full vote. But I do appreciate the presentation that you gave, and I thought it was important to bring everyone kind of up to speed to how we got to this point here. Okay. Good, all council members, any other questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell?
Yes.
Councilman Proto?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers?
Abstain.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt?
Yes.
President Brewer?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 8 yes, 1 abstention.
With 8 yes, 1 abstention, CPO 2018-70 passed on third and final, and so ordered.
Mr. President, is there any ordinances and resolutions on third and final?
All right, thank you. There's nothing on second reading tonight. We will go to the administration's report. Chief of Staff have a report for us tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yesterday, the mayor spoke at the Gary Chamber of Commerce membership luncheon. The mayor talked a lot about recent development, including the more than $1.5 billion in commitment of development dollars in the last 6 months, and small business development in the city, and gave a sneak preview of what's to come in the State of the City address. The mayor's State of the City address is Friday, February 22nd, 2019. The address again this year will be presented during a luncheon beginning at 11:30 here at the Genesis Convention Center. The mayor's office of constituent services invites you to a Love Your Block informational meeting Thursday, January 17th at 5:30 p.m. in the Gary Room at City Hall. Block clubs could be eligible for a $1,500 grant specifically for block club use. On Wednesday, please RSVP at 881-4815, extension 16528. Again, RSVP at 881-4815, extension 16528. On Wednesday, January 9th, we hosted a Living Mayor's Roundtable as a part of our comprehensive plan discussion. We were honored to have Mayor Richard G. Hatcher, Mayor Thomas B. Barnes, Mayor Scott L. King, and Mayor Dozier T. Allen in attendance at IUN for a discussion about the city's past, present, and future. The event made history and received a very history lesson as we witnessed 6 decades of mayoral experience on the panel. There will also be a community meeting on Thursday, January 17th at 6 p.m. to discuss the city's comprehensive plan. This meeting will be held at Marquette Park Pavilion. Upcoming meetings will also be held at the Art House on Tuesday, January 22nd, Thursday, January 24th at Ironwood Pavilion, Tolleson Pavilion on Tuesday, January 29th, and Thursday, January 31st at Ambridge Pavilion. I asked the Director of Public Works to stand up here with me. She has some updates about public works and safety updates and some information about the city's storm plan.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to give a couple of updates. I'll start with infrastructure first. We, on Friday, January 11th, we submitted an NERC funding application. The first project submitted was for a complete streets application for 5th Avenue, Buchanan to Tennessee. This consists of making 4th and 5th Avenue two-way traffic. Trucks will use 4th Avenue, which will make room for bicycle and pedestrian facilities on 5th Avenue. The second project submitted to add pedestrian crosswalks and signals at 5th Avenue and Bigger Street by Theobald Leadership Academy. We are also going to apply for community crossings grants. We have a list of streets that we are going to submit. First is Ridge Road from Harrison, Mississippi. This is for resurfacing, I'm sorry. 7th Avenue, Broadway to Mississippi, Grand Street, Ridge Road to 47th Avenue, 6th Avenue, Broadway to Mississippi, 25th Avenue, Klein to Clark, and 23rd Avenue, Chase to Grant. The city engineer and the public works team are working with redevelopment on the new comprehensive plan. The current plan is from 2008. Our work includes sections for streets, sidewalks, ADA plans, traffic signals, lighting, and GIS. The traffic division, Troy and Banks completed the citywide lighting study. The study has identified numerous lights that are inoperable and numerous areas that are underlit. The city engineer and traffic division will review the study in detail and make our recommendations as to where lighting should be added. The traffic signal repair maintenance contracts were bid out. Once the contracts are awarded, the work will begin. The streetlight maintenance contract will be ready for bid by the end of January. The new contract will include maintenance of all city-owned lights along with cataloging and analysis of all of the control boxes. So we will have an inventory of all of our control boxes. We currently have an engineering firm that's doing road safety audits for us, and this is a plan for preliminary engineering and data collection for a grant that we received for street signage. The engineering work for 2019 is currently being developed. We are going to prioritize our work, but we're looking at patching materials, spring resurfacing, crack sealing, city curb and sidewalks, our 50/50 residential sidewalk program, roadway striping in various locations, guardrail repair in various locations, and delineator repair at the County Line Road railroad crossing. In terms of our snow plan, we are expected to receive some ice. It's in the forecast to receive some ice on Thursday, as well as about 6 inches of snow on Saturday. So we are prepared. We've ordered salt. We have more coming in by Thursday, the 16th. 500 tons are coming in, and then after we receive that, we should be getting another 500 tons shortly after, within this week. The current plan is to have 2 shifts. So starting tomorrow, we have 2 shifts in our General Services Department. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 3 to 11, so we'll always have staff in the event we do have inclement weather. And our shift changes are going to coordinate with vehicle maintenance, so should we have any breakdowns, we do have our vehicle maintenance team on staff as well. In the event of significant snow during this event, we're going to have a 12-hour shift, 2 12-hour shifts for 24-hour coverage. We are going to activate our snow partners, which includes the Gary Sanitary District, fire, police, and we also have contractors on standby as well if need be. And in the event we do use contractors, our contractors will be paired with our general services workers so we can make sure that we can tandem down the main thoroughfares and clear those areas first. As always, we do have 2 foremen and they are monitoring the weather. And in the event we do have inclement weather, they pre-salt the hills and overpasses and standing water locations as well. Let me see what else I can. This year, we're doing something a little different. We're going to communicate with our operators and our foremen through walkie-talkies that were given to us through the police department. All of our vehicles have GPS tracking, as well as we're putting GPS on our contractors' vehicles as well. I just want to remind everyone that primary routes are main thoroughfares and heavily traveled avenues. Weather permitting, these streets are plowed within curb to curb within 24 hours after the snow stops. Operators plow continuously down these streets during the snowfalls to keep well-traveled areas safe and passable. Secondary streets, weather permitting, are the residential side streets, subdivisions, and less traveled avenues, and they are plowed within 48 hours after the main thoroughfares are plowed. And then we have tertiary streets tertiary areas, which are the alleys, remaining residential side streets, and low traffic areas, and they are plowed within 72 hours. And we do have a quality assessment team that's going out. We have divided the city up by 11 sectors in various color-coded routes so that our operators are clear about the locations that they are supposed to plow. And we do have a quality team that's being assigned to each of those areas to make sure that the residential side streets are plowed correctly. We also will have a 301 command center that's also located at 900 Madison with our guys. And we will have people staffed there to answer calls, residential complaints, and to make sure that areas are covered. In the event there is some sort of emergency, We do have, police and fire have committed to helping in the event we have people that need to get out to dialysis or any other medical appointments. So they will be assisting with that. And that is what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. LeBroy. That was a lot of good information that we hearing coming from your department there. I was out with you all this weekend when we were making sure that the snow was up for everyone on Sunday once the snow had stopped. And I also had a chance to just go over and talk with General Service, the staff, the workers, and management team there also too. I believe we all come to the conclusion to really make sure that we can do an effective job is we need cooperation from everyone. For one, be patient with the city of Gary as we're trying to clear the streets. You will not really see a finished product until the snow stops. A lot of people want to see pavement and the snow is still falling. It just doesn't happen that way. It's almost a waste of material if you're salting like crazy and the snow is still falling. Second of all, obey those signs that say no parking during the snow. Believe it's 2 inches or more of snow. That will be in effect and your car will be being towed. We have our police and chief and deputy chief there that will back me up on that. We will be towing cars in those routes there. We are expecting a lot of snow to fall. Hopefully we don't get it. The Lord's been good to us. But if that occasion should happen, we asking everyone to obey those signs there at the same time. But if you have driveways, you have garages, we asking everyone on those side streets to utilize those things, to make sure that we can really get the streets clean in a proper manner and make sure that your vehicles are not damaged. We asking that you utilize those things by putting other cars into the driveways or into the garages if possible. We appreciate everyone's cooperation as we look forward to making sure that our streets are clean and safe for the residents of this city and the ones that pass through our city at the same time. Is there any comments from any other council members before we go into public comment? Councilman Brown.
Thank you. I'd like to add on to what you said about the snow issue. And I'd also like to remind our residents about our emergency vehicles, whether it's police or fire. When you see them going down the street, please pull over, please put your flashers on, so those vehicles can get to their location, particularly when we see the snow. Also, it's buses as well. As you know, 3 children got killed back in southern Indiana earlier this year because of that situation. I read this morning, I believe, in Lake Central School, they put cameras on those buses so violators can actually be ticketed for going around buses when those stop signs come on. So please stop. Wherever you're going, it's not that big of a rush. You're not going to try to catch a train and go on the train track either. So we're just trying to get you to be disciplined and respectful for the law enforcement that's working, as well as the bus and the children that are out here. And you know, in the wintertime, when the snow is out, you can't really see very well. So if those flashing lights are on, please try to stop again and not cause any problems. One more time, I want to reemphasize what the president said concerning the plows. I live on a dead-end street, but we try to get our vehicles off the street and the driveways so the plows can come through as well. So I encourage others to do it. Anyone that has any issues about towing, you know, in Chicago, the moment it snows, if you're in the way, what happens? You get snowed. So just pretend you're in Chicago. Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Chicago, it don't have to snow. Ms. Ann Walker is our first speaker for tonight. You gonna pass? Let's see if your friend be so nice. Mr. Nowacki is our second speaker and our last speaker for tonight in our public portion forum.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council.
Good evening.
I would defy anyone to contradict me when I say complaining before government bodies is effective. I know that I've complained over and over and over about many of the issues that have now been addressed by our Director of Public Works and Safety, that the city is going to be taking some initiative to make some changes. For instance, turning 4th Avenue into double traffic in both ways. Very, very important. I want to emphasize that, but by making a point. The council knows that for many years, I've come before this body and complained about the flooding on Fifth Avenue. The state spent $40 million rebuilding Fifth Avenue, and by the time they were done, we had flooding all up and down the south side of Fifth Avenue on both sides of Broadway. The council probably knows that I've come before the council and mentioned that the state then took almost $250,000 to address that flooding issue. I've been to NERC many times complaining about it. I've been before the council. I've been to the sanitary district. We've got the director of the sanitary district here. And we find that they've actually addressed that problem. But the reason that's important is because in the discussion we've had with them, they said there was no way to repair the flooding directly east of Broadway on Fifth Avenue. And they spent $250,000 fixing this other flooding, but they said they could not fix that flooding on Fifth Avenue by Broadway. Now, if you go there today, you'll see it's not flooding. And I was very curious as to why that section of the road is not flooding anymore. And I find that what they had done was they had replaced one of the sewer grates. You know, when you drive around the city, sometimes you'll see a solid sewer grate, solid metal, no holes in it, and sometimes there's a sewer grate with holes in it, perforated. And what the contractors had done in their $40 million contract is they had put the wrong grate on the sewer. So for 5 years, I've been complaining to NERC, to the sanitary district, to the board of Public Works and Safety, to the Gary Common Council about this flooding. People threw up their hands, there's no way to fix it. And the problem was no more complicated than putting the right grate on the sewer. Think of how stupid I feel. After spending 5 years complaining before every available body to fix that flooding, and to find out all it required was to put the right grate on the right manhole. How stupid I feel. Now we have the problem that this roadway that had been inundated with water for 5 years is totally destroyed. Totally ruined because of the idiocy of the people who are responsible for making sure that the road doesn't.
Thank you, Mr. Nowacki. I want to thank everyone for coming out to our council meeting tonight. This is our last meeting of this month. We will see everyone inside of February, the first Tuesday in February. Thank the viewing audience at home. Thank the ones that came out tonight. There's nothing else. I entertain a motion for adjournment. We now stand adjourned. God bless you all. Councilwoman?
You didn't say hello to me.